What's up, guys? Thanks for watching. Welcome to the first of many videos that we plan on offering. We're always looking for new ways to help clients, and I think one of those is to offer videos to help familiarize you with the programs that we use and offer you tips along the way for easier file setup and things of that nature. Now, in the past, we've received business cards that have been set up in Illustrator, which is fine. We love Illustrator. We work with Illustrator, but in some instances, it was set up on an 8.5 by 11 document, and there was a box drawn around for placement. So, in those cases, there was no bleed accounted for. The margins weren't even, and at that point, it kind of becomes a guessing game of is the text centered, and it kind of looks centered, but and whenever I get files like this, I often wonder how long it took and what kind of frustration may have been involved in drawing out the guides and checking out and see if the margins are even and whatnot. So what I'm going to do today is show you the easiest way to set up a business card in InDesign. Now, if Illustrator is the only program you know, don't worry. If you know Illustrator, you already know half of InDesign. So these programs are really one and the same. So without further delay, I'm going to do my best to keep these videos short so you aren't watching a half-hour video on how to do one particular thing. So now, as I said, there are features in InDesign that are there to help: margins, guides, smart guides, bleed, gutters. All of those can help immensely, and most of them can be set right at the beginning of the document. So what I'm going to do is go to InDesign. Now, you'll notice I'm on a Mac, but the programs are one and the same between platforms. So the keyboard shortcuts may differ, but I'll do my best to give those different commands if the time comes. So what I'm going to do is start a new document. I'm going to go up to the File menu and go to New, and you'll see three features that are available, but I'm just going to go to New Document, or Command N, Control N on PC. And we have our new document dialog box. Your default settings may be different, but we're going to cover how to change those in a future video. So we're just going to quickly work our way down. I'm going to leave these two top drop-down menu boxes alone. These are essentially presets that you can set for a specific size document that you work with on a regular basis. You can set these up to have readily available at the click of a button. So I'm going to go ahead and jump down to the number of pages. Again, since I'm setting a business card, I'm just going to leave this at 1. But what you could do is plan ahead. If you are typing out a publication, a newsletter, something like that, you can specify how many pages you want in the document right away. I'm also going to skip over the start page, as that is also relevant to any multi-page book that we are going to set up. So now I'm going to jump down to the page size, and this is where we establish the finished size of the document. So we're going to start by setting a business card, and of course this can be set to any custom size, but the standard size of a business card is 3.5 inches by 2 inches. So there is an option available for a US business card in this drop-down menu, but again, we can also type the numbers in. So I'm going to go ahead and type in 3.5 by 2, and you'll see that it automatically jumps to a US business card because InDesign automatically recognizes that size. So down to the number of columns. Now, this may also not be relevant on a business card. This is more of a trifold or a newsletter. So I'm going to go ahead and leave these two alone as well and cover that at a later video. So as you can see, we're already weeding out a lot of the options that may not be relevant on a particular project. So now I'm going to jump down to the margins, and this is going to be something that you want to set every time. So we ask for no less than 1/8 inch margin. If the text comes too close to the edge of the card, it runs risk of getting cut in bindery. So whenever I set a brand new card, I usually use 1/8 inch margin or a 1/4 inch margin. Now, of course, there are exceptions to the rule. You can certainly work it into the design where the text does get cut off, but just make sure that it's not any important information such as an email address that may be kind of a questionable at a later time. So I'm going to go ahead and set this to 1/8 inch margin. And you'll notice this little chain icon. This is going to link all of these together. So as soon as I hit tab, all of our margins will now become even. So once our margin is set, I'm going to go down to the bleed and slug. Now, if you don't see this option, go ahead and click this option up here for more options, and that just toggles back and forth, offering you the bleed and slug options. So, I'm going to go on to bleed, and for those asking what is a bleed, essentially it's artwork that extends past the edge of the card. So in order for us to print an image that looks like it's going off the edge of the card or bleeding off, we need to print past that finished size and cut some of the artwork off. So much like the margin, we ask for no less than 1/8 of an inch bleed. So I'm going to go ahead and set that as well. And again, we have our little link icon, so as soon as I hit the tab key, all other bleed marks are going to be the same, whatever is set to this, this first box. And now we're going to go down to a slug, and a slug is similar to a bleed, I'd like to say, and that's typically used for job information or notes or something like that. So if you're designing a piece for John Doe, you can add a name, phone number in the slug for reference or quick access, a job number, anything like that. I personally don't use a slug, but it could certainly come in handy. So I'm going to go ahead and set this to a 2-inch slug. So we'll take a look at our document settings, and if everything looks good, we're going to go ahead and say OK. Now, you'll note here in the magenta is our margin, so that's our 1/4 inch margin. The bleed is set on the outside for highlighted in red. This black box right here is the absolute edge of the document. So once I toggle this back on and off, that is your finished 3.5 by 2 inch business card size. So I'm going to zoom out, and you will also see the cyan line set for the slug. Now all of this is editable after the fact, so if you need a new margin, don't worry, we can certainly set this, change these settings later. So I'm going to go ahead and start setting a business card, and I'm just going to draw my box out, and you'll see that it is in fact 3.5 by 2, and now I'm going to get my text, or my type tool, and start drawing out. And you'll notice that if I get too close to the margin here, it automatically snaps. So this is what allows you to keep all of your text centered. So that is the great feature that, that we're really trying to push here to help make things easier for you. So what I'm going to do is type in the name and title, and I can go ahead and center these. And now I can go up here and pick my font and change any settings that I want in here. And start moving things around as I need to for placement. But as you'll see, this text is centered and exactly where I want it to be. So draw out new boxes for phone numbers and other information that you need, and you'll be good to go. So we can do that. And again, if we get really close to the margin, we can certainly see it snap into place. So you'll notice that your text will be centered. Or if you start typing in on the left here, you are set for 1/8 inch margin here and here as well. So you know that you have even margins throughout, so your card doesn't look off-centered when it gets cut. So and there you have it. Quick setup for a business card, and you have the confidence of knowing that everything is centered, everything, all your margins are even and everything. So hopefully this helped. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked the video, and if you have any questions on anything that's troubling you, let us know, and we'll do our best to go ahead and answer it. So thanks again, guys.